Hey everybody, welcome back to Into the Veil. I'm Rachel. Great to have you here. And today we are doing something totally different. We discovered that we had a pair of skunks that would frequent the feeding area of the chicken lot. And they're coming up from behind where this cage is, near the root wad on that tree. For the most part, we hadn't seen them bothering the birds. They'd eat some of their grain and kind of go on about their way. But for the last 2 days, we have caught young skunks in these live traps. And we had a couple of birds that had gotten attacked, and the way that they were attacked led us to believe that it was probably a raccoon issue. But thus far, we have not caught a raccoon. So this one, I believe, is a little girl. It was a male yesterday. But I thought I would try my hand at capture and release. Now, I don't know about y'all, but there is no one bone in me that has ever desired to get this close to a skunk. But as it turns out, they do not have good vision. Traditionally, they will not spray in an enclosed place because they even understand how potent their spray is. And they actually avoid spraying if possible, because they can only build that up every so often. So it's kind of a limited reserve. It looks like this old mama hen's got her butt right in the way. But obviously the skunk is not aggressive toward the chicken, and the chicken's certainly not worried about the skunk. And we decided that we would practice approaching her with a dark sheet and bringing it up and covering the cage. Now the trick to this, which I didn't realize I had it drawn up as close as I did, or over my feet as far as I did, but I didn't want to trip on the sheet either. And it was actually the movement of my feet that was probably more disturbing to her. So as I get closer, you'll kind of see that she gets agitated, and she'll begin pacing a little. Now if the tail goes up and the feet stomp, and you'll see her here in a minute, they pat their little feet, and that's a warning. So as I'm approaching, I'm speaking to her the entire time, just reassuring her in a soft voice. And you want to talk to them. You want to just calmly talk to them. For whatever reason, it makes a big difference with these. But more than once, she turned her butt straight toward me, and I thought I was going to literally be skunked. So we kind of took our time with her. And as I work forward, I realize this small sapling is going to be right in my path. So I've got to figure out how to get this sheet between that small sapling and her cage. We're going to get it done. And every time I pause, I just start talking to her a little more. And she's got her tail straight up. And I thought, oh Lord. And I'm kind of starting to sweat bullets at this point, because I can see how upset she is. She's trying to dig out. You hope, there she goes, patting her feet. Boom. And you kind of hope that they're distracted with something. If I had thrown some food in there, maybe it would have helped her. Lessons learned. But she just progressively pats her little feet It's like I said, they really don't want to spray, especially in a small space. And as this is going on, I realized that the sheet was higher, so when I dropped the sheet a little lower and she could not see my feet moving, albeit their vision's poor, I was close enough by then. She started to settle down a little bit. We're going to watch here for a minute. They're really a fascinating animal. And we didn't want to kill them. They hadn't really done anything to anybody, at least at our place. Here's one part where she raises that tail. They don't carry themselves with their tail raised. So if that tail is raised, they're trying to tell you. And her butt was all pooched out, and I thought, oh Lord. So I started lowering that sheet and getting a little smarter. The best thing I could have done was to have had it wider. See that? I'm telling you. My forehead was soaked. We've seen several big males out on our night walks, but this is the first experience we've had catching any. I'm trying to calm her down, talk to her. She goes back to her little corner, and once she turned and sat down, I knew I had to get that sheet up there, but the key is not to startle them. Slow and steady wins the race. And in the meantime, I'm still trying to outthink this crazy sapling. Here she goes. So the person's instinct would be to throw the sheet on, but it's the last thing that you want to do. You want to keep talking to them the entire time. I don't know if it's the rhythm of voice. They're a lot like a ferret, but there's something about them that's also very cat-like. At this point, I'm just waiting for her to turn around and get in that corner so I can drape this thing. At least I had the sheet between her and myself. There she goes. And if they can't see their target, they generally don't spray. So the hard part is just getting the cover. So I took her number of miles down the road. Wanted her to have a safe place. And Ken was trying to figure out how to latch onto that trap door without getting right in front of where she was going to have to come out, because there's a pin for it. So he made this hook. And he was gracious enough to do this part for me, because I am not smooth with the way this functions. I kept thinking, well, after almost 35 years, the worst that happens is one of us has to cope with the smell of skunk. And she was ready. I saw her turn around toward me again. I backed up. She was off.